Just a few quick thoughts on Trump. The more that I see him, the more that I think that I understand him, and I don't think he's an overly complex person. And I think he does speak his mind, to be fair. So in terms of, having things to refer back to, I think overall he can build a picture. Tell me if you think this fits. I think Trump is only really bothered about the strongest dictating. Choice of words. Okay, so how did he handle Palestine? I think basically he's saying, listen, Palestine, I've declared the winner and it's not you. Now get over it. For Ukraine, I think it's more or less, listen, Ukraine, Zelensky, I've declared the winner. He only had a conversation with Putin today. Then afterwards, to be fair to him, he spoke to Zelensky to tell him what he already agreed with Putin. And to be fair, Putin is the superpower. You know what I mean? So I think in terms of respect and politics, maybe there's some thought behind that. But essentially, from the rumblings of what came before is, listen, Zelensky, I'm declaring the winner. So, just wrap this thing up. And then we can also go into Greenland and Canada and everything else. But I think that's it. America, individual country. China, individual country. Russia, individual country. And I don't think he really respects the collection of countries that is Europe. I think he's just trying to find ways to undermine it. But where does that end in his mind? Don't really know. We think he's got a soft spot for the UK, but really Scotland, because he's got roots there. But what breaks has he cut for Scotland? None that I know of. I think potentially he feels a lot of security in the distance from America to potentially the countries that he's bothered about, China and Russia. I don't think he's thinking from the historical perspective. If Russia rolled out those borders and encroached on more of Europe and brought it under its control, that could rival America. All those fears of Russia, let alone that China is kind of more aligned to Russia than it ever is to the States, does business with the States. It seems to be more politically aligned to Russia. In the past, that's something that the US used to try and guard against, using things like USAID, using things like United Nations, and trying to lead the political direction everywhere, so that everywhere is an ally to America. Does that sound about right? Well, until now it's like cutting people loose. Like, no, you go over there. He's only really bothered about these superpower states and what their point of view is, and everybody else's point of view doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's like a backhander, man. You want to risk that backhander? And before you get to the backhander, maybe you're going to have some kind of instant tariffs, which kind of punishes everybody, but you will know again next time. Or potentially whatever aid that you do get, well, here it is, like a little carrot. Well, you got it. Do you really want it? Do you want it? No. Do you really want it? No. Basically playing with people's lives. I don't think he really cares. I'm not sure that popularist sentiment really cares in the States right now. You know what I mean? And I think they've got Trump acolytes who genuinely think, and this is the most worrying thing, that he has done absolutely nothing wrong and can do no wrong. Do we even know anybody who's on that kind of pedestal, including ourselves? But I genuinely think, and I've asked a Trump acolyte myself about if there was anything he did wrong. The person said no, straight-faced. And if psychologically they actually believe that, that is incredibly worrying, but I think they do. Before I kind of move on from that, and I'm going to wrap this thing up quickly, the only way we can overcome Trump derangement syndrome is to overcome misinformation, because the Trump acolytes, from their media sources that they're listening to, which are all a big bag of bullshit, they're leaving out all the facts to present only one narrative. So hand on heart, they do actually believe it's correct. As I say, if you leave out all the bad stuff, there's only good. You know what I mean? So, and I think that really is it. So until, especially America, but that's never going to happen. You know about more laws that Trump has revoked now in terms of effective oversight. It's just gone. He's getting yes men into every position. If you don't agree, you're gone. You know what I mean? So it's only like 3 weeks into his presidency. There's like 4 years. The longer this thing goes on, the more that it's normalized. It's going to be hard to wind it back. To wind it back, you're going to have to be just as dramatic Now, who thinks that the Democrats have got a dramatic bone in their body? Where the hell have they been the last 3 weeks? Sitting on their hands. They're meant to be political professionals and experts in politics. Clueless. Silent. No response. Before we get to that stage, and I think we're not far off in the UK, we need to be absolutely proactive, get rid of the GB Newses, or just hold them to account in terms of bullshit. If that bullshitometer gets above a certain level, you got to slap them with fees, which will kind of disincentivize it. You know what I mean? So fair enough, you got a judge, you go to a court of law. If they say this is the truth as they see it, then let it be borne out by the facts and let the judge decide. And I have faith in the courts more so than a media organisation at the end of the day. And then they can put in more guarantees in order to say that selection process is as good as it can be. But anything that has financial incentives to be biased one way or another, I don't trust more so than the courts. And I do understand and realise that the courts are actual people who have their own biases, but still, my faith would rather be with them than anybody else. So that's it. Please let me know your thoughts. That is Steve and I'm out.